Welcome to channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Now in today's video, I would like to discuss a topic which I've received numerous inquiries and emails from everywhere, especially people who are currently in Australia. Now if you notice, due to the COVID-19 outbreaks and the pandemic worldwide, the government of Australia, especially the Prime Minister and also the Minister of Immigrations, has announced or also got onto the press news conference over the weekend in regards to advise all the temporary visa holders to consider returning home. Now, a lot of people are panic, do not know what to do. Now, today I would like to share internationally and also nationally in Australia how this could actually view. Now, the reason I believe that the Australian government is advising all the temporary visa holders to return home if you cannot sustain financially over the coming month or year. The reason is obviously they know that this pandemic will not be resolved within month, within a short time. It's gonna be at least 6 months to about a year. Now we must know that obviously there has been a lot of different news coming out in regards to the vaccination, and the vaccine has been developed over in Asia, China, USA, and also in Australia as well. But we need to know that the vaccine can be developed, but they have to be tested in order to make sure it's safe for the general public. Otherwise, a wrongly developed vaccinations could actually kill a lot more people than the actual virus itself, because we have to know that the vaccine is actually developed from the virus itself, so it's actually originated from virus itself. Another thing is, obviously, while we're waiting for the vaccinations to be developed, the other thing is also the test kit, to actually noticing that whether or not you have got the virus, you have got the COVID-19 virus. Now, if you do notice recently, the recent years, if you travel internationally, you must know that there has been a lot of testing kits around the international airport to actually see whether a person is actually having a fever or not, just to contain the actual what we used to do to contain some viruses to causing a high fever and stuff like that. Now, obviously, if you have been reading the news and watching the news, and recently you notice that some of the COVID-19 infected personnels, they might not have any symptoms at all, but they're still carrying on with the viruses to actually spread around the public areas. And that's why a lot of our governments has been advising people to actually wear a mask and go and washing your hands as soon as you can access to washing basins or toilets. Okay, so and that's the reason. If the testing kits cannot be fast enough, as like testing and finding out a person with having a fever or having a virus, the testing kit has to be reactive enough to actually catching someone in seconds or minutes. Otherwise, the whole international or the transportation, the main transportation areas could not be operational for months and years until this testing kit is available or testing machine is available. Otherwise, if you're a government, you will be very weary and worried and concerned to having a major transportation hub still open, and you cannot even find out whether people carrying viruses could be around. So let's have a look at the other news that's been happening over the weekend. Obviously, everybody knows about the Prime Minister Scott Morrison has been on the news press talking about. So the topic here, as coronavirus spreads, it's time to go home. Scott Morrison tells visitors and international students. So this topic is actually very absurd in a way that triggers a lot of people that they don't know what to do at the moment. So I did receive a lot of messages in regard if what happened if I'm still a visa holder and my visa is about to expire and I cannot find any flight to go back home, what to do? And obviously, after the news press of the Prime Minister, the Alan Tudge, the Minister of Immigration and Multicultural, has gone on news press as well. So basically, it says time to go home. Australian government's message to some temporary visa holders. So the key here is the some temporary visa holder. The reason I'm saying that is if you are someone who does not have the financial capability to actually sustain for a further 6 to 12 months living in Australia, then you should really consider to find a way to go back home. To go back home as your home country will provide welfare for yourself, because it looks like the Australian government will not be prepared to provide all the welfares for all these temporary visa holders. But if you do have the financial capability to sustain the coming up 6 to 12 months, obviously that is fine for you. You can continue to stay. That's why the news says some temporary visa holders. Okay, so for student visa holder, if your visa is about to expire, what do you do? And if you do have the financial capability to continue to stay and live in Australia, the only visa that's available now at the moment obviously will be a visitor visa subclass 600. So considering lodging that, or if you do have difficulty in lodging that, obviously you can inquire below, or you can find your migration agent and lawyer to help you out with that. Now, before we close for the video today, there are two type of people the Australian government is actually urging and wanting them badly now. As you know, that the South Australia government has over the past 2 weeks announced that they will waive out the work experience requirement for nurses. Now, I noticed that last week that the government of Australia is obviously seeking for more international nurses to stay in Australia. So if you do work in the nursing or the medical industry or health industry, you will be finding yourself very visa friendly, and in another word, obviously, but you need to find an employer sponsor to have whatever the medical center or clinic that you need required to work for and lodging those visa, and the visa will be prioritized, I believe. Now, the other type of people is working holiday backpackers. Now, obviously, there has been a lot of rumors about backpackers not having a social distance thing on the news media, but the government has announced also they need the backpackers in the rural and regional area, especially working in the agricultural industry, to stay, because during this pandemic, the requirement of food and the agricultural primary productions will be required heavily, just like how they wanted it in the supermarket. They need more workers in supermarket to help deliver all these food and packages to the general public. So if you are this kind of backpackers working in the farm area or working in the agricultural areas, you will be also to find yourself with a very visa friendly situations. So if you do have any other further questions, feel more than welcome to leave a comment down below. And finally, consider subscribing to our channel, so once we have more updated news, you should be the first one to be getting all the news. And I see you in the next video. Goodbye.